Amazing audience, we are live with Matthew Espinoza.
How's it going?
What's up? AKA
Good
Matt.
to meet you. Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Tell me, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I last minute hearing about this and excited to, like I said, binge watch your episodes and excited to have the opportunity to be on here as well.
That's great. Which of your talents do you think is responsible to connecting us at this specific time in history?
Which of my talents?
Yeah.
The one thing I do enjoy is regardless of what journey people are on, I love connecting with them. I mean, I do a lot of that through like events. So I meet as many people as possible, even if, I think with networking, people think, you need to immediately provide value to someone. But to me, it's just, we're all on this crazy life journey. So I connect with a lot of people here in San Antonio as much as I can. And luckily, Guyland gave us the chance to connect. So I had Guyland to this connection.
Tell me what you do in the startup space in terms of what has created that opportunity.
Yeah, so I do Startup Grind. Startup Grind started as basically an event that we do monthly to bring fireside chat together with the top entrepreneurs in San Antonio. So I was in college at the time, so I was cold reaching out to these people with much more experience than me. But it gave me an opportunity to sit down with entrepreneurs that are doing some exciting things. And that's turned into one of the largest startup networking events we have in San Antonio.
Fireside chat, what does that look like?
A fireside chat basically just means a no agenda one-on-one conversation.
Oh, okay, not like a fireside.
No. Yeah. Sometimes some cities will put a little fake fire behind, but it's too hot in San Antonio to do that, so we don't.
Like a natural fire going on. Right?
Yeah. But the ideas started about 7 years ago, and we now have chapters in 300 plus cities all over the world. People were tired of being interviewed, like doing one interview to a crowd of people, that they were like, let's try this, no preparation conversation. And what ends up happening is these entrepreneurs say a little too much. They go down too many rabbit holes, which is good for the crowd because they actually take a lot, as entrepreneurs themselves, they can take a lot back. But it opens up some very interesting conversations, which creates some good content.
I would love that. I would love to see that. Who did you learn that ability to... I think there's like a family thread that runs through you, like with the networking, you feel family oriented. Like, who did you learn that level of family friendship from?
I think very early on it was recognizing, like when I was first starting, I was always like the least experienced, like youngest person in the room, and everybody was like being helpful. So in return, I was like, okay, like fast forward a couple years later, like, I do the same thing to the, least experienced person in the room, but at the same time, like, show the respect to those like either older than me or with social media, like experts in social media now are 17 years old. So you have to learn really quickly to respect everyone involved. But yeah.
That's cool. Why will you continue to be that guy? I mean, traveling has its ups, it has its downs. Why will you continue to be that guy that is connecting exponentially?
Growing up, I never had any interest in traveling at all. I always figured I would be in San Antonio my whole life or in Texas. Even looking at colleges, I was looking at Texas. But then something really opened my eyes when I started to learn people were doing what I was trying to do in San Antonio. In every city, whether it was San Francisco or it was a small city in Texas like Waco, or regardless of population, everybody was trying to be this community builder and just bring people together. Because really, once you learn the power of connecting people, like it really can go a long way. So I was just like, wait a minute, like people aren't just doing this in the United States, they're doing it in Europe. They're doing it better than us over there, like in all over the world. So that to me was the connection to where I, could learn from those other people and the different things that they do.
Yeah, it's very effective as well. Like when I saw in Waco what Chip and Joanna are doing with HGTV.
Yeah.
But you're just seeing it like spiraling out, from who they are as individuals, and then like what they love, and it's conversations. And like I spoke to, there were many young people in the Magnolia market, and it was amazing to like see them, because it's like one guy stepped to me and he was like, I have my business, I design crystals, right? And it was just good to know that they are supporting him, in his day grind, to be able to have his after work grind.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
There's something about entrepreneurs that I guess all of us, whether, it's a business we're trying to grow or a side project, like we all remember being in the beginning, and we all, regardless of whether you continue the project or not, have been at that point where we've struggled, that like that entrepreneur community just is always open. Now there are bad people sometimes, but generally the overarching of the entrepreneur startup community is to be helpful first, and you know that resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Love that. Where's the best place for people to connect with you?
On social media. I right now I'm big on Twitter and LinkedIn specifically because those feel like the two that I can reach out to and connect with people, like I said, all over the world. Like it seems like every day I'm hearing someone doing something in Florida, like someone doing something in Chicago, and it's just Twitter and LinkedIn seem to be like the easiest to like connect with those people outside of my immediate circle.
That's where we go.
Matthew Espinoza. Searching Matthew Espinoza San Antonio is probably where you can find.
Wonderful. Yeah. What's one other thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
So it's a side project that I turned into a full-time thing now. It's called U.S. Business Calendars. It was a newsletter we started in San Antonio where we basically just wanted to curate and list networking, training, workshops for the business community that happen in San Antonio. Now that has evolved over the last year to the U.S. Business Calendars. So we've scaled that and we're launching in about 20 markets and figuring out the ups and downs of a business model around that. And so that's been the one consistent thing it's had its ups and downs. Like I said, like any entrepreneurial venture, I think the one thing that when I left my job to focus on it full time, my timeline on how fast things would happen was way off. But a year later, I've had, with that year to focus on it full time, I've, learned a ton of business from business leaders and different things that have applied back to the business that have been an awesome opportunity. Yeah.
Why will you continue? Why will you continue to the next project and the next project and the next project?
So right now, the plan is for everything that I do to be under that umbrella of that business. So, networking, connecting people, events is kind of like my priority, I guess, at the moment.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's at the end of the day, whether it's a podcast, a YouTube video, like in-person networking, like that one-on-one conversation with people is to me really fascinating. Yeah. Like, two different people with completely different backgrounds can,
Love that.
bring different things to the table.
Love that. All right. Well, it's Guylan that took my attention. Yeah. So Guylan just passed out. Yeah. Guylan is the guy that actually connected us. Yeah, which is fascinating. All right, my friend. Well, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you now into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
Okay.
What is your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory? Man, that I feel, I don't know if this is like learning from memories, but definitely early on it's got to be like being like 3 or 4 going to school. Like the school like is walking distance from my house, and my grandparents live near me too. So every once in a while I have these flashbacks that I feel like are from hearing other people talk about it, because I don't know if I can remember at 3 years old. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely, those are the farthest back I could think of going to.
Why do you think that memory is so clear?
I don't know. I think just connected to maybe, like we were talking about earlier, like family ties. Like San Antonio in general feels like a large city filled with, a lot of people making family connections, and maybe that's because there's a lot of families here. But just always growing up next to, like I said, walking distance from my grandparents, and maybe there's that family tie that will always be with me whatever I do. So
amazing. Yeah, I love that you connected it. What I would add as well is the concept of learning being close to home. Like even in startup, even what you're doing, even the co-working spaces that are so close, it's like you're still close, you're working, but you're still close to home, you're learning, but you're still close to home, you have people that become your family, so you're still close to home. You go to networking events, there are chapters, you're learning, but it still feels like you're close to home. Just to see that.
And then I think I've learned that going out of your comfort zone, that still happens. Like, I think that's the hard part, is when you like step out of your comfort zone, you maybe lose old family, old friends, but like the second you do that, there's other people to connect with that are like doing the same thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
So expand your territory.
Yeah.
Expand your territory. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song at 12 years old. Okay. So that was probably that was around 2006. I was big on the Black Eyed Peas. My first concert was a Black Eyed Peas. I was probably At the time, specifically from there, probably Where's the Love? Because that's still, that song's still, 10 years later, still really good, yeah.
It's amazing how it connects as well, right? In terms of you going out and stepping out from family.
Oh, yeah.
Where's
yeah.
the love?
I guess so, yeah. Maybe this conversation, that's what popped up because of that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So yes or no, probably a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
One person? No.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
About 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer?
Yes, that's most of my time. Yes.
You would not believe how much I never get to the end of that question. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Matthew Espinoza, what would you say that is?
Dang. Is it that explains who I am? In the moment, I guess someone on this crazy entrepreneurial journey looking to learn from other people. Yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Searching for where's the love.
Searching for where's the love. I like that, yeah.
Matthew, this is a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
So whoever's tuning in right now, make sure to binge watch like I'm going to all these videos. I feel like just the two people here in this room have so many stories to tell from all the people they've learned. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Matthew Espinoza, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thanks for hosting.
Did you have fun?
It was fun. Yeah.
Boom.